All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is episode 1, season 2 of the Certruth Podcast. This is probably episode 7 by the time we're recording it. I, of course, am Max Certruth, and I'm joined by my awesome co-host, Coach Marty O'Brien. And today, I'm super happy and super excited to welcome onto the show, one of our first guests, my close friend and, a great football player here at Feehan, Sean Judge. Sean, what's going on, man?
Hey, man, appreciate you having me on. I'm super excited about this. Been thinking about it all week, and, man, I'm so excited to be on here, to be honest with you.
No, yeah, I'm super excited. And I mean, I know Coach Martin and I have been looking forward to it all week, right, Coach Martin?
Yeah, we've been talking about it, kind of had a few production meetings here, and, we wanted to get in some good topics and hear a little bit about your story, Sean. Maybe some folks don't know. But it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It'll be fun, Max.
So, kind of starting off, this week at Feehan, not much has been going on. I think this Friday, the girls' basketball they have a game on Friday. So that's something to check out if you're at home. But, of course, today, I'm here with you, Sean. I want to talk to you kind of about how your whole college kind of recruiting process is going and just a lot about you. And I wanted to start out, Sean, right now, as of right now, you're committed to Clemson University for the class of 2024, right?
Yep.
And I want to ask you, before you came to Feehan, because you transferred here, what year?
After my sophomore year.
Right, so you came here after your sophomore year. I want to talk to you, what was your life like before you came to Feehan, right?
Man, before I came to Feehan, so I grew up in Massachusetts, so I always knew about Feehan. I used to go on the sideline, be the water boy, like ball boy. So I always cheered for Bishop Feehan growing up, and moving my freshman year, going to freshman year to Don Bosco Prep up in New Jersey. Had a lot of great experiences up there. Had a lot of great life lessons, just like toughing through adversity. Didn't play a lot my freshman, sophomore year. That taught me a lot about perspective when I'm playing football and always remembering where I am. So that honestly was my biggest challenge, and obviously my dad going through a lot over there, my family. It just taught me a lot about adversity and how to get through stuff when you didn't think you could get through it. So that honestly was my biggest lesson I took away.
No, yeah, totally. And I mean, talk to me about Don Bosco. It's a huge school on the map, right? What are some of your favorite moments from Don Bosco?
Man, we made the state championship my sophomore year. We lost to our rival Bergen Catholic, but that was an awesome experience. And so our sophomore year we had a game in Washington D.C. against St. John's College, and I was nervous. I was going to make the travel team. There's a travel team and a normal team, and I squeaked my way in the travel team as a sophomore, got a hotel room and everything, drove down with the team. I felt like the man, but I got humbled pretty fast carrying the ball bag on the field and stuff for the big guys. So
that's awesome.
You learn your place pretty fast down there, but there's some great memories. Obviously playing MetLife where my dad coached. He was head coach of the Giants, so that was a really cool experience playing there. And just running out that tunnel at MetLife was something I'll never forget, just seeing all those fans and stuff. And man, that was something I'll never forget being there.
Oh yeah, totally.
Nice. What? So you got in your football career there in high school. So you played before that. You played.
I did. Yeah, I played Pop Warner.
What was that like?
Man, I was kind of. I don't want to flex, but I was kind of the man of Pop Warner.
Were you this size? In Pop
yeah,
Warner?
I mean, I was a big kid in Pop Warner, but they threw me on the line.
Sean Judge Ferreo connection.
Yeah, me and Jacob Ferreo used to tear it up, and a couple of the North kids. I loved playing Pop Warner football up there. Our 7th and 8th grade year, we weren't that good, but man, just growing up playing with guys like Jacob Ferreo and Jack Higgins and lifelong friends like that, just connections that you make doing stuff like that. Even like Nick Yanchuk when I was really young and Case.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Just guys like that. It's like lifelong connections that you make. And it's cool growing up playing Pop Warner too, because I used to watch like Kane Mankins and all those little guys in the field. And now they were my teammates this past year, and obviously seeing my brother grow up on that field.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
It's just cool perspective seeing them all grow up and be Feehan football players.
So, yeah, so you were at North and you went to Jersey, and then that must have been awesome when you came full circle and went back.
It was. I mean, obviously my dad gets let go. It's a really sad process, but It's like I was really happy to come back here, to be honest. I had a lot of connections, and that first day, junior year coming back, I can't say I wasn't nervous because I was, but I had a lot of good friends, and like Jack Higgins helped me through a lot. Jacob Ferreo helped me through a lot. Like there were guys like that, like Devin I became really close with, and obviously you. So it's guys like that made coming back here just a really special environment.
No, definitely.
Honestly.
I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Like the environment of Feehan is kind of what we talk about a lot on the show.
We talk a lot about youth sports too. I know last year and during season 1 we talked about youth sports and some of the lessons you learn coming into that, and the friendships you build, and I'm sure you guys were playing different sports in the yard and stuff like that. So did you guys, when you were growing up, did you talk about coming to Feehan?
Yeah, we used to always talk about it, actually. Like me and Jacob, ever since we were little kids, and I got some friends that moved away. Kyle Quinn lives in Detroit now, but his dad used to work for the Patriots. And we used to always talk about going to Feehan. It was like our thing, like, oh, we're going to play football up there. Me and Jacob used to always talk about, he was the quarterback, I'd be the receiver. And it was kind of our dream growing up, going to Feehan. And then when we were really little, it was like, we'll go play D1 football somewhere. And all my friends kind of gave up on that dream the past couple of years, and I just never really gave up on it, which is it's kind of cool to see. But I mean, they're doing their own thing in life, and it's fun. But no, I used to always talk about coming to Feehan, and I never really considered the other school across town. I mean, to be honest with you, it was always Feehan for me.
Oh yeah.
And I love everyone at the school, man. It's a cool environment, to be honest with you.
No, yeah, totally. So, I mean, Sean, so, we talked about, like, kind of your life, before you kind of came to Mass for the second time. Of course, this is where you grew up. But, you had your Don Bosco career, and, you said you didn't really play much, which, high school football, freshman, sophomore, usually that's expected. But I want to talk about when you came here, because I remember, obviously that's how I met you. You came to Feehan, and I want to talk to you, because you played here for the past 2 years, and I want to talk to you about, like, your whole process. The first year you came at Feehan, and how, some ups and downs, and then this year, which I know for you, kind of really came full circle. What was that like?
Yeah, so I came here, I was playing linebacker at Bosco. I only played on defense. I only played you one way, so I was just a linebacker. And coming here, my dad was coaching quarterbacks, and I just tried to make him proud, so I was like, I'll go for quarterback. And, everyone heard about this New Jersey quarterback transfer. I mean, probably had bigger expectations than they should have expected, but I wasn't that good at quarterback. Coach Brooks saw something in me at tight end, so moved me to tight end, kind of hit the ground running with that. But played a linebacker, was backing up Dante, was a really good player, and just rotating in. Like the North game, I played a little bit of linebacker. Then I moved to defensive end after the North game because Coach Curran came up to me. And, that was something I really liked doing, but I kind of played like timid and scared at first, which is something I really regret. And, I mean, I kind of just learned. Ended up getting replaced later in the year by Koss, one of my good friends too, it kind of humbled me a little bit. But playing on offense last year that was a low point, probably getting replaced. But I stayed my course on offense. Coming into this year, obviously I had a lot to prove to a lot of people, like getting replaced last year. So I came in this year with a big chip on my shoulder and tried to get replaced in the offseason a couple times too, it felt like at points. But getting named team captain, I wasn't named captain at first actually. Last December they named 4 captains. I wasn't one of them. I barely missed out because I was a transfer. And that really motivated me, and I stayed in the weight room. I stayed consistent, just trying to be myself. I don't try to be anyone else, so just try to be myself when I'm in the weight room and when I'm around campus. So it's stayed consistent, and I went played this year, and obviously just had a ton of fun. Like, as you know, just playing football with all my best friends and playing defensive end, winning a bunch of accolades and stuff, and just had a lot of fun moments this year.
Yeah, so I definitely want to get to I want to unpack a lot of that. Get into the accolades probably last, but going through that whole process, because I remember when you were named a late captain, and obviously it was definitely a big change, but. We talk about, this season, obviously for football, high school football here at Feehan, we had a great record. We went 8-2. That first game against North, your hometown game, I want to talk to you about, we did, lose that game, unfortunately, but what did that kind of, teach you, prepare you for, kind of, and even for you, Coach Marty, because you were a coach, I mean, what did you guys kind of see that you had to work on, starting with you, Josh? Man,
I don't really have a lot of respect for those guys over there, to be honest with you. I mean, people know that about me. I mean, it's not. I respect every opponent until they do something to me.
Sure.
And it's like, so I just don't have a lot of respect for those guys. So that game was really personal. And to be honest with you, I didn't play my best game that week. Like, I'd be the first to admit it. I didn't have the best game. I played a little not nervous because I wasn't nervous or scared, but just a little bit with like I didn't go all out. I didn't play with nothing to lose, which I did the rest of the year. So that was probably the only regret, if I have any, this year, not going 110% in that game, just playing a little timid. And so that game meant a lot to me, though, because, I mean, those kids know me really well. I know those kids really well. So,
but, I mean, that's probably normal with every team, finding an identity with every player, every team. But, yeah, Coach Marty, what were your thoughts on the first game?
I would agree. I mean, it's hard. I mean, you never know. First of all, we haven't played football in months, right? So we're coming back, and you can lift all the weights you want. You can run on the field all you want, but it's not football, right? So, and you guys know. I mean, you guys played. So when we're getting in there, you kind of have to exercise those muscles a little bit, and there's certainly some adjustments that need to be made, making sure people are in the right places and playing to their strengths and things like that. So like Sean, like you were saying, I mean, it's tough. It's tough to come in there. There's a lot of emotion. It's a really emotional game for week one for us playing, especially there. But, I thought you guys played well. We were battling the whole time, and we had some young guys coming in that were getting a taste of varsity football. It is a huge jump, right? Into varsity football. I remember my first game jumping in as a sophomore. So there is a lot, to kind of bite off when you're there, and it's just feeling it out, right? You don't panic, right? It's game one. It means a lot into the standings, but it's not the way you start. It's not the way you start. It's the way you finish, right? And we always tend to figure it out, finish strong, We're in the conversation. That's what I'm proud of you boys for. So
Yeah, and I mean, especially considering we had a ginormous. I mean, no, I don't know as much as for North, but for us, we had to find a whole, new identity that first game because we had a huge participating senior class the year before, and a big number that was lost to them graduating, of course. So. Yeah, but then, the North game happened, but I want to talk to you, Sean, about, the weeks after, kind of like those are the golden hours of the Feehan football season this year because, we were unstoppable, and I know you had a crazy, experience. I want to talk to you, what were some of your, like, favorite kind of points this season? What were some of the big things that you remember, some of your favorite moments?
Yeah, so leading up to the Attleboro game, I had a lot of I kind of had to look at myself in the mirror and decide, like, what do I want the season to be? Because it's like, do I, like, I was committed to Clemson, I had a huge target on my back. So it's like, do I want to be the kid that's like, oh, everyone thinks, like, his dad got him there or whatever? Or it's like, do I want to prove, like, you can't mess with me, like, you can't hang with me? So after that game, going to Attleboro, I remember some kid posted on his private story about me. So that kind of just added a lot of motivation. Ooh. It was Alex Suarez from Attleboro.
We'll cut that out.
We'll bleep that out.
No names. Protect the innocent on the Certruth.
My fault.
You're good.
So I got.
You were emotional.
Yeah, no, I was very emotional about that, and no, that just was a lot of motivation. So I went blocked a punt, and the kid was on the field. I'll just leave it at that. So it kind of meant a lot to me that
Clemson commit tries to dox.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely meant a lot to me. Attleboro game, got like recruiting board dog of the week. Then after that, St. Mary's had a big game. I remember hit that quarterback pretty hard, got knocked out of the game. Ooh. And I think it might have broke a rib or something on him. And then
I remember that. Yeah, that was. Oh yeah, that's.
Yeah, rolled out. I think I broke something. And then the weeks after that, Archie's was no good, really, to be honest. At least last year, they weren't that good when I was playing them. Arlington was kind of like playing against my little brother's team. That
was the game.
But Arlington, I felt like I was playing on rookie mode. It was just like 2 pick sixes.
That was crazy for a DN to get a pick six.
No, it was just. I mean, it was like
that.
I mean, that week in film, that like running back kept talking to the quarterback. He wanted that swing route.
Yeah.
And I saw him kind of yell at the quarterback, "I want the swing route." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna let you throw the swing route, and I'm gonna pick that off, take it to touchdown." So I picked off a swing route and threw a screen pass later, and I picked that off too. So it's like.
Oh, yeah.
So you talk about that too. So your preparation.
Yeah.
It's not just being on the field for 3 hours. It's everything around it. It's maybe give some advice to the younger listeners who are coming up through the program. Like, what's your take on preparation, like outside of the game?
Yeah. So I watch a ton of film, to be honest. I know on game weeks I get a bunch of sleep. I eat right, like especially in season. I just take care of my body really well. So, like, watching film for me is really important, especially, like, in high school. You can see a lot of tendencies. Like, I remember, I forget what team it was, but some quarterback, every time they had their right foot back, it was, like, 95% run because he, like, stepping into the handoff on the inside zone. And then it was, like, other weeks, quarterbacks would just do stuff like they'd check if they knew they looked left first, that's where the read was to the left, looked right. Like, Arlington's quarterback did that a lot. He would look at exactly where he's going to throw the ball. I'd say just watching film, like, I knew Frizzoli from North did a good job at disguising a lot of the stuff he did. So I'll give him credit with that. Like, he did a good job disguising that. They did a good job hiding stuff, too. It's week 1. You don't have a lot of film. So that was a hard week to prepare for. But, like, after that, like, going to the playoffs against Concord, I kind of knew all their tendencies going into the game. So it was just – I did all my homework. It was just time to take the test at that point. It was pretty easy.
Yeah. Cool. Preparing was probably, a huge aspect of the game. And I know, both of you, I'm sure you know how I was injured the North game, but then, even that was like my first varsity experience. That was awesome. But I even saw, not playing, but outside of, the team, of course. Not outside of the team, but, not participating. I still saw, like it's so much that goes into like program, and being kind of like a fly on the wall, viewing all that from like an outside in kind of thing, not being like a player for once was like, it's crazy. It's something that, you don't think about a lot. But so Judge, you had the whole high school season. It was great. Finished 8-2. That last game against Marshfield was it was unfortunate, but I'm sure it kind of got you ready, especially for the next chapter, and that's what I want to talk to you about right now. Is of course it's a big thing. It's something that you're very well noted for, is that you're committed to Clemson, which is a Power 5 school, and it's a big deal. So I want to talk to you about first of all, just kind of walk me through the whole college recruiting process, how it started, what you're going there for, what your hopes are when you're there, and just kind of walk me through it. Just casually,
Yeah, so I think I had a conversation with my dad like last December, so December 2022 it was, after a football season. I was a little chubby, and he was like, "Look, you got it. This is a crossroads right here. It's like you get in shape, you go play D1 football, or you can like keep partying, do whatever you want, like, and it's like you won't get to where you want to get to. So it's like I had an honest conversation with myself at that point. It's like, what do I want to do? It's like, and I realized like ever since I was like a 6-year-old kid, like playing in my living room, watching Alabama play football on the TV, it's like I want to be there one day. I want to be on that TV. I want some other little kid to watch me one day and say I want to be there. So that just had a lot of motivation for me growing up. I just wanted to be there. So the recruitment process was good. I had last December I lost a ton of weight. January, just getting in shape, lifting, and I had my film. I had it sent out to a bunch of coaches, and my dad would just reach out to schools and be like, "Hey, you want to look at the film? You want to see any resources? Like, he'll work for you. Like, he'll do whatever you need." So, like, a lot of people got like skewed ideas of what he did for me, but all he did was he just asked around. He's like, "Hey, anyone need anything? Like, this is his film right here." So, the first school to really reach out to me was Penn State. That was in, I think, February maybe, and that was honestly a good experience. I went down there, watched their pro day. Did a lot of cool stuff, met some good coaches and stuff down there. Coach Franklin's great to me, and that was good. And then after that, I went on a little circuit of just workouts for schools. So I went to Ole Miss in the spring. That was a great experience. Worked out in the stadium with their coaches. Had me do some stuff, like a lot of agility work and just conditioning, and then just ball skills and stuff like that. So that was a good experience. And then I'm trying to think. I went to Mississippi State, my parents' alma mater. And to be honest, I didn't have my best workout there. It was I was a little tired because I worked out that morning at Ole Miss, made the drive down. So they had me running a 40. I barely stretched or anything. I was just I was kind of in a rush and a little anxious. So Mississippi State wasn't my best workout, but that was all right. And then a couple months later, so that was in the spring, and then the summer, I went on like a 5-day just with my dad, just circuit. So I started at South Carolina, went down to South Carolina because I know Jody Wright down there, who's now the head coach at Murray State. So Jody took care of me down in South Carolina. I went through the camp, got named one of the 4 best tight ends, actually. I had a good day at tight end down there the day. So I got awarded with that. Next day I went down to Clemson, met Coach Woody McCorvey, who coached my dad in college. He's one of the coaches on the staff. That's how I got my initial like foot in the door. My dad just sent him his film, said, "Hey, our guys are interested." So they looked at that. So
now, I just to interrupt you real quick. I remember you telling me, off camera, something about, you told me even Clemson, when you went to after you went to the camp or whatever, you didn't feel like your best there, but obviously it still worked out.
No, yeah, I didn't have my best day at Clemson, but they honestly they liked my film a lot too. They really liked because I had my huddle highlights, and then I put together my own stuff that I just had my dad record me at a field. It was just all it was all just off like no pads or anything, just on field work, just see my movement and stuff like that. So Clemson liked that a lot. The coaches liked me a lot. Kind of kid I was. Next day I went down to Georgia Tech, down in Atlanta. I know Carter Blunt down there, a special teams guy. He took good care of me because I've known him my whole life pretty much. He's a good guy. Then I went down to Georgia, and to be honest, at Georgia, they let me in the door, and I think they were kind of expecting all right, who's this little kid, think he is type thing. And I went. I probably had the best workout I've ever had in my entire life at Georgia. And
really?
Yeah, that was crazy. I had the best workout I've ever had. Just running they laser time my 40. I think that was the best time I've ever run in my life. I don't even remember what it was, but I just had a really good day at Georgia. And I remember going in Coach Cochran's office, the special teams coordinator, assistant head coach, and he was talking to me, and he's like, "Look, Judge, I didn't really expect anything out of you. We kind of just wanted to get you in here, see if you were anything." And he's like, "I think we're gonna have a spot for you if you want to wait." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll keep it open. I really appreciate it." So that was good. I had a PWO from Ole Miss at this point, but they were still working it together, so I couldn't post about it yet. He had to run it by Coach Kiffin. So the next day I went to SMU, had a workout. I actually thought it was an average workout. I didn't think I did that great or anything. And I was at SMU, and I was kind of feeling down. I was like, man, 5 days, not really an offer yet or anything. And SMU's head coach, Coach Lashley, comes up to me at the end, and he's like, "Hey, we want to offer you a spot on the team right now.
That's awesome.
We can figure out PWO, scholarship, all that stuff later, but we want to offer you right now." And I was like, man, that made my day, made my year. Came back just super excited and ready to work for Bishop Feehan after that. And then a couple weeks later, I was in the Dominican with one of my friends, actually on a beach, and my dad calls me. He goes, "Hey, Coach McCorvey wants to talk to you." So they reached out, and I got that's when I found out I had an offer from him, Clemson, when I was at the beach, and that was really cool. It was just me and my friend on a beach, and we celebrated. We had a good time celebrating.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And so, a couple weeks later, I called Coach McCorvey and told him I was coming. About 2 weeks later, Coach Dabo called me, Coach Dabo Sweeney. And he's hey, I just want to let you know you have a spot. And I couldn't even let him finish the sentence. I was like, I'm coming down. Like, I'm coming. Like, I'll be there.
Awesome.
So that was pretty much the whole process for me. But it was a good process.
That's busy.
Yeah,
That's
man.
busy. So that was all over the summer?
It was
pretty much?
started
Spring, summer?
February, late winter to early summer. It's pretty much when it all happened.
So what were those as you were going through that, two-part question.
Mm-hmm.
So what were the conversations like with all the coaches? Like, what did you guys chat about? Like, was it about improving your skill, what you can work on, all that stuff? And then from that entire experience, what were the big things you took into the Feehan season?
Yeah, so to answer your first part of your question, they talked about they would just talk about why should we take you type thing, and it was like
a job interview.
Yeah, it's like I can't tell you to take me because that's not my job. But what I can tell you is if you take me in your program, I'm going to be the first guy and the last guy out type thing. I'm going to be the most film watched. I'm going to be the hardest worker you've ever had. Because once I get committed to something like that, they just want to know why. Like, why should we have a kid like this? Because there's so many kids that go through programs like that, and it's they've always just been so talented. And I haven't really been like that. I've had to earn pretty much everything I've gotten in life, especially when it comes to football. So it was good conversations though. Like they're people at the end of the day, so it's good people down there, and it's good talking to guys like that. And the second part of what's the second part of your question?
So coming into Feehan, all of that experience, what did you take into Feehan?
Yeah. So
something, right?
Yeah, no, something to prove. Definitely, that's definitely what it was. It was like everyone thought I don't deserve that, and I kind of took that personally, to be honest with you. And it's like I just played with a chip on my shoulder, and I kind of did what they told me to do at those schools. They're like, look, you want to be here? This is how guys that come through these doors act. Like, there's no exception. So I was like, all right, I want to be one of the elites. I got to act like one of the elites. So I got to lead like an elite. I gotta act like I'm the man. But I'm not above the team. That's one thing. I'm not above the team. I never wanted to act like I was better than anyone on this team because I'm not. When I'm on your team, we're a team. Like, we're one group, and so that was really important to me. They taught me that too. Just we're one group. Like, we all go down together type thing, you know?
But Sigma behavior. Now, I want to ask you, Sean, because I remember, I think about a lot about, the stuff you tell me off camera. And, a big misconception. Even I didn't even think about this. But here, you're playing tight end and, your position on defense, it does really majorly kind of transfer over into long snapping, especially when you're going to be in a top school. Because if you're thinking about it, you being able to throw the ball, between your legs with a good spiral is almost it's like half of the job. The other part is, after that, what you got to do. How do you think that your kind of skills here on defense and, all the skills here that you learned, not long snapping, are going to kind of help in that element of the game? Yeah, so I just love football. So it's like I do whatever I can to get on the field. And I'm I don't want to brag by myself, but I think I'm a really good tackler and I hustle. So it's like, those are two things that go together. You just get down the field and get to light someone up, which is fun always. Yeah. So I think, honestly, just Feehan taught me to just be aggressive, and football taught me to be aggressive and don't play scared. Because I think my freshman, sophomore year, I remember thinking, man, these kids are big. But, it's once I, got that out of my head, that mental block, it's you go down, it's look, at the end of the day, this is a kid that goes home, sleeps, wakes up, goes to school, just like you. It's that's not some superhuman out there. It's just a kid. Yeah. So it's at the end of the day, it's just what I'll translate, what I'll bring to whatever they have me on the field doing. It's just I'll bring my best, which is totally. Just all you can ask.
They're all kids at Clemson too. They're just really big.
Yeah. They are big kids. Yep.
But would they be able?
Too, though.
Yeah, but would they be able to stop the one-run Max Certruth kickoff run? We don't know.
No, we don't. We actually don't know. We haven't seen it happen.
We don't know.
So.
It was never experimented with. Now, of course, you're looking forward into the future with what's going to be going on at Clemson with college next year. And I kind of want to talk to you about, two things. I want to start with, showing the things you like to do, outside of football, because you kind of talk about, every football player is, just a kid. So, what do you like doing outside of football? And then I want to talk to you later about one of your big accolades. But yeah, outside of football. So what does Sean Judge the kid do as opposed to Sean Judge the football player?
So I think Max knows this better than anyone. He's at my house every weekend. Oh, yeah. So. It's a good group of guys like Brendan Koss, Shane Evans, Devin Ferreira, Jack Higgins, my brother, Jack's little brother, Kane Mankins.
Doing a lot of homework.
In the
basement.
No, all just studying away.
All the boys hanging out. Quattros, shout out Quattros, but we're all hanging out. So I like to do that. I love hanging out with my dad, honestly. He means a lot to me. So any chance I do, just sitting on the couch, like talking to my dad about anything, means a lot. I'm really close to him. But second up, my family. I love my boys. I got some good dogs, but I like lifting in my free time too. Go to Edge a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, just staying ready for the season, hanging out with my friends.
That's awesome. I mean, I don't think there's anything better that will keep you well-rounded than being around people like that all the time. So yeah, I think that's a great aspect of the game.
All right, great.
Yeah. Now, Sean, I want to talk to you because football. What happened? It's late January right now. It's said and done. We're into winter sports here at Feehan, and football here is done, but we're still seeing a lot of remnants from it. And recently, you were named CCL All-Star, and I want to talk to you about what that means to you.
Yeah, so it's obviously a very high honor, getting named All-Star and MVP or whatever, but it means a lot to me, honestly, because last year I wasn't nearly that good, and that was honestly a lot of motivation to get back and be named for that. So it did mean a lot to me. That was honestly really cool. One of the coolest parts of my high school career, getting named MVP and stuff. I remember Coach B called me. I was sitting on the couch watching the Patriots game, and he told me the news, and I was just so happy because it meant all my hard work paid off. And I mean, honestly, those early mornings, like before, we used to have those 6 a.m. lifts. My dad would wake me up at 4:55 in the morning. I'd go in the garage. I'd work out him for like an hour. Higgins picked me up. We'd fly over to Feehan. So everyone's yawning, waking up, and I'd be in a full sweat just going straight into workout. So no, it meant a lot because I knew those early mornings were worth it and stuff like that.
I mean, and that kind of, because you're the CCL All-Star, but, a lot of people, as of recently have been named, in papers such as the Sun Chronicle, a lot of accolades have been handed out. So I kind of want to talk about, because, we've been very focusing on your whole backstory, but of course, what's the biggest thing here at like Feehan football is the team aspect of football. So I want to talk to you about your teammates and even you, Coach Marty. Last year, I mean, especially again, talking about kind of like being like a fly looking in just because of my situation. Who were both of your favorite like players to watch this year fly around? So who are some of your guys' Feehan favorites?
I'll start. So I'm not even just saying this because of my co-host, but when Max got that tackle on a kickoff against North, man.
That was. We'll insert it.
Did you guys plan this?
No, that was as my friend, like I've seen him go through a lot, and that honestly meant a lot for me to see him get that excited because I know how much this kid's fought. So definitely him. Seeing Higgins get that game-winning touchdown against Fenwick meant a lot to me. I mean, we've been best friends since like second grade, so that meant a lot to me. Seeing Devin take a big role this year, that meant a lot to me, honestly. Yeah. Seeing Jacob Ferreo, like guys like that, like I'll never forget that.
Those three guys, I mean, right there, I mean, that's such a cool story because the past couple years they didn't play a lot, but then this year they were just like such a crazy role in the team, and that was, I mean, that gave me personally, a lot of things to be inspired about. I mean, those three guys are awesome for sure.
Mm.
What about you, Coach Marty?
I mean, I would agree. I mean, what's some of the prouder moments where again, I mean, you guys got put in these situations when it's really difficult out there. Some of your first varsity games, getting out there and playing and really taking advantage of it and just acting like you've been there before, even though the playing time might have not been a lot, or you haven't been in those pressure situations because older guys were there. So, for me, and I know the other coaching staff, it's just proud moments and, always feeling like let's work on it, let's get better, let's not settle on it, because again, where we wanted to get going and where we wanted to get, it was going to take playing better, and better games.
Yeah.
And I got to give a shout out to my DB Nation, Lockdown City.
Wetsuit
right here.
Yep.
Always, it's been, that's been my mantra for 20 years now, growing up, playing, doing all that stuff, and then being able to coach on the backside of my football journey. So really excited about continuing and what the future of Feehan is, because we've built a great foundation. You guys are going to come back when you're graduated and come see us and hopefully see success into the future too.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I think my favorite players to watch, probably if I had to narrow them down, I mean, honestly, I mean, you can't. There's nothing scarier than Shane Evans on the field. I mean, I remember that kid who taken souls all season long.
Potential future guests.
I think that might be in the works soon. We'll see about that. But yeah, I mean, Shane, he's an all-around athlete. But I mean, Jesus, seeing him take some of the souls he did during the season was awesome. I got to give a shout out to one of my best friends, David Quinn. I mean, what was crazy about last year is that obviously we had Yanchuk, who was record breaker here at Feehan. It was actually like he did so much, and it was kind of a question how would the running back role be kind of pursued after that. And I mean, I know David really well, and I know he worked his butt off. So he really, I mean, you've seen him, just plow through people this year, throwing people on the ground. I mean, I'm really proud of him. And even both of you, I mean, we got to talk about Mortis. Mortis.
Yep.
Let's see what Judgy thinks.
Semper Mortis.
Semper Mortis, baby.
Yeah.
Way to get up on the nicknames, boys.
I mean, that kid went off this year.
No,
right?
he did. Yeah, I was super proud of Owen. He had a great season, honestly. Yeah. I mean, I know coming in this season, we both kind of had something to prove, and him more than me, honestly, probably, because I at least knew I had a place in the field. He didn't even know, like, I heard rumors of him switching positions. So it's like, he's come a long way, and I know this year and this next year and the year after that, like, this place is going to be fine with him at quarterback.
Oh, yeah. I mean, humble kid, great kid, just really kept his own. So, we keep kind of stepping up the levels here. So, now,
so working out the kinks in Studio IAC 209.
Yeah. Let's talk about some more broader subjects in sports. Still sticking to football. I mean, as you both know,
this is a pop culture.
Yes, of course.
We cover a lot of bases.
Yeah.
Certruth.
I mean, this weekend, a lot of big matchups, Sean. As you know, on my notes here, I just have AFC and NFC picks, and I want to talk to you about who you got, Sean, why, and I guess we're all gonna hear. I can hear your mic swiveling on there.
Just a little creaking here. All right, we'll get this done. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah.
All right, so for my picks, I think I've seen all four of these not Brock, but I've seen all three of the four quarterbacks play. I've seen 3 of them play in person. So obviously top class athletes. I saw Jared Goff and Pat Mahomes play the same year, going to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and Lamar last year's. So I think Lamar's got Pat's number this year. I think they're going to win, and the Ravens are going to win.
I hope so.
And I think I can see the Niners winning, but I just want to say the Lions so bad, man. I mean, I don't know how you could cheer against them, honestly. It's such a cool story.
Yeah.
And, I mean, for a while I didn't really like the Lions because they fired Matt Patricia, who we know very well. But, I mean, you can't not love Dan Campbell at the same time. Yeah. He's just such a player's coach. So I think the Lions and the Ravens will be the Super Bowl. Nope. And I think the Lions are going to win that. So I think the Lions win the Super Bowl this year.
Super Bowl champion Detroit Lions. What a run for Michigan.
Yeah.
Something's in the water.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And now Harbaugh's going to the Chargers, I believe, right?
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, no, Harbaugh's going to the Chargers, and
I'm sure you got some other info.
I do have a little bit of info.
Cut this part out.
No, we're good. We can keep it rolling. I know Coach Harbaugh interviewed with the Falcons, and I know he brought his wife to the interview, which was a little weird, little known fact. But yeah, most coaches just bring like themselves and their agent maybe, but he brought his wife, which was a little weird, to the Falcons interview. So yeah, a little insider scoop there that no one really knew about. But Michigan had a great year. J.J. McCarthy, obviously, pretty boy, had a great year, quarterback. And I was hoping Bama would beat them, honestly, because for Saban.
So was Jack Higgins.
Yeah, I know. Higgins.
Big Bama guy.
I had Kane Mankins at my house. He was very happy to see Jack Higgins upset about Alabama winning or losing. So, no, that was cool.
D1 hater Kane Mankins.
He loves hating on people, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, personally, I think, I'm not the one to coin this phrase, but talking about college football, but, going back to the NFL, I do solely believe that Lamar Jackson is the only person who will be responsible from saving us from a Taylor Swift-infested Super Bowl. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I think seeing Lamar win a Super Bowl would be crazy because, there's all this controversy over the past season, how he's not quarterbacky enough and all that stuff. So, yeah, that'd be really cool to see.
I went to the BC game. I think Lamar was a senior. Did he get to senior year?
I think he played 4 years, yeah. I'm pretty sure.
One of the years when he played at BC.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And the game kicked off, and it was a minute into the game, and he already had like an 80-yard touchdown, and we're like, are you serious? This guy's insane. We can hear him screaming from outside.
Yeah.
So he got in, and they scored like a ton of points. But, wild dude.
Yeah, he's like top-class athlete. I saw him play last year against the Patriots, and he just tore our defense apart, man. I mean, it's not that hard to tear the Patriots apart right now, but, I mean, he made it look easier than it already was. So.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the Patriots and they pick up, and hopefully all these other teams around that don't really know their identity yet with all these missing head coaches' jobs haven't yet. But talking about a lot of stuff, it was a great year for rookies in the NFL. Talking about that. Sean, who's your favorite rookie out of the year?
Yeah, so obviously I love C.J. Stroud a lot, Pop Douglas, I know him a little bit. He's a great guy, and he had a great year for the Patriots. Bryce Behringer, great guy, Patriots punter. Chad Ryland had a little bit of a shaky year, but I think he'll bounce back. I'm just talking about the Patriots specialists because I know them personally a little bit. Mm-hmm. And no, but I liked Puka Nacua a lot from the Rams too. I thought he had a really good story, stepping in and being a great player for the Rams this year. I mean, late round draft pick. McVay just seems to find gems, man. It's weird. I mean, they just keep rolling. The rich keep getting richer, and it feels like the poor keep staying poor. But it's interesting, man. I mean, he's going to be a problem for a long time. And CJ obviously turned around the Texans. Yeah. It's a cool story. We know the GM over there really well, Nick Caserio. So I was happy for Nick to get a playoff win under his belt and stay around for a couple more years. So it's cool.
What are some of your big memories growing up around professional football? Like, what are some big memories from like your world?
Yeah. So I remember my first ever Patriots game that I went to was the Cardinals in 2012. We lost, but I remember watching
early in the year, right?
September, I think.
Early September.
Like
first couple games.
Yeah, I was there. That was my first game. I was like, missed a kick. Yep, that's exactly right. Exactly right.
Those would ruin my week.
Yep, no, that was brutal. But no, that was my first game. I remember. Then kind of like blurs in and out. I remember going to.
How old were you then?
I was in first grade. So.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like really young, and so actually I lived next to Aaron Hernandez when all that stuff happened. So that was
Moving on.
No, it's not bad. I'm saying like no. So I used to actually cheer for him growing up because I'm like, oh, that's my neighbor right there.
Good player.
And then everything happened, but that was cool. Then going to the Patriots AFC Championship game a couple years later against the Colts. I didn't really understand how like important it was going to the Super Bowl back then. I was like, oh, like that's just like it's cool. Mm-hmm. But then we're going to that game. It was raining. We were rolling. Nate Solder got a touchdown. That was cool. We won the Super Bowl on the Malcolm interception. Going to that Super Bowl was really cool. It's cool to see my dad win like that. And after that year, Scotty O'Brien, the special teams coordinator for the Patriots, retired. So my dad stepped in as coordinator. And I know he felt a lot of pressure probably from the outside. Like, who's this young guy? I think he is. And he had an all right first year. He had a really bad game against the Eagles one time. He thought he was going to get fired that next day. He got like a block punt, I think a return touchdown maybe or something like that. Like, so really bad. To this day, like his worst game he had. But they lost in the AFC Championship that year. Next year Tom suspended for Deflategate. They win 14 games. I go to all the playoff games or whatever, go to the Super Bowl, and watch the 23 comeback in person was probably the cool to this day, maybe the coolest thing I've ever done.
What were you thinking at halftime? What was your thought?
I just like going on? I think in my brain I didn't want to believe that like we would lose that game because I was like young and I was like, oh, like they'll find a way. Yeah. Like I just thought they'd find a way. I didn't really think there was like a way they'd lose that game. And they ended up winning that game, which was unbelievable. I ran on the field. I still have confetti in my room from that game. Like, put it in a plastic bag. It's in my room. But that was really cool. But to answer your question without rambling too much, like the coolest parts were definitely the Super Bowls and just meeting the players because they're people at the end of the day, and you kind of forget that when you watch them on TV and stuff. But like guys like Matt Slater have meant a lot to me in my life. Like Matt Slater is a great human being. Guys like Joe Cardona. It's a great guy right there. Like even like when my dad went to the Giants, like Daniel Jones, he's a great guy. Like Daniel, say what you want about Daniel the quarterback, but Daniel the guy is one of the most genuine people I've met ever. Like Evan Engram, tight end, plays for Jacksonville now, a really good guy. Like Brandon King, there's a lot of special teams guys. Even like Mr. Mankins when he played in the NFL, like that. There's some genuine people in this business, and that was probably the coolest part. Just getting to know him on a personal level and like just watch. Like Matt Slater watched me grow up. He said the other day when he was retiring, I was talking to him. He's like, "Man, this is really cool. I met you when you were a first grader, little kid at Martin Elementary down the road, and now you're going playing football at Clemson next year." It's like it's crazy, but he watched me grow up, and that's probably the coolest part, just seeing everyone grow up in it.
Yeah, I mean, something that like because we were both. John, you're a year older than me, but something that like we can both kind of relate to because you mentioned it earlier was like you didn't think it was a big deal going to the Super Bowl. Kind of thinking about it now, when I was younger and I didn't really understand sports that well, the Patriots seemed to go to the Super Bowl every couple of years. I was like, that really made me realize how fortunate and how lucky and how unique of an era we were in, or that we were able
Boston.
that we were able to grow up in, especially where stuff like that would happen all the time. And I think that's really an eye-opening thing for sports fans in New England. It's just like that. Mm-hmm. That was a crazy time to be in, and we're really lucky to be a part of that. And I'm sure you're really fortunate to be that close to it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I remember after we beat the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, I was a little third grader, and I was on the duck boats, and I took my shirt off, and I was waving around like a thing. I got posted by Barstool Sports, and that was.
You got any images of that?
I think
you can put insert that right.
I might have it on my phone. I gotta look. I actually
send it over.
If you send it to me, I'll
let me look for it.
Magic of editing.
Yeah, perfect.
Cool. I'll look for it right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, yeah, that's awesome. I mean,
Yeah, what crazy experiences you must have had.
Oh, yeah, it
over
was-
the course of the years.
Hold up.
bro is lost. But yeah, I mean, well, he does that, Coach Marty. I mean, we're getting to a good point in the episode to maybe wrap it up soon. Talking about the Rock Report, hopefully look out for future articles in that. I mean, shout out Mrs. Dolliver because I've been featured in that a lot recently.
Yep.
I just conducted.
Hopefully some more collaboration too. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just conducted an interview with some of the hockey boys after they beat BR and big, huge game against North Attleboro on Saturday. Hopefully I can have this edited out by then. We'll see. But, yeah, so hockey's, they're all flying around there having fun. I mean, I know you were featured in the Teacher Appreciation
Oh,
game
yeah,
last
yeah.
night.
Shout out Molly for that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Good turnout by the teachers. What a wild win last night.
Yeah.
From the girls, they scored, I think, 3 unanswered, down 1, scored 3 unanswered in like 6 minutes. So a lot of fun. Really cool arena, too, where we could see the boys and the girls play. Boys 1-2.
Yep.
5-2, something like that.
Yeah, they won 5.
Aldridge had 3.
Yeah, and that was a really fun game. I got to announce that, too, which was awesome.
Yes,
yeah.
you announced that, which was cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. And, again, I'm so excited for the atmosphere we're going to have against North on Saturday, so hopefully that goes well. But so look out for my interviews and on the Instagram, the YouTube channel. That's where we're gonna have this posted. Also, shout out Devin Ferreira because he's actually he made the thumbnail for this episode, which really cool. So that we're gonna have that for the first time. But yeah, I got some editing to do. But overall, I hope everybody out there enjoys.
And we're going to be more regular, too, I think.
Yeah,
on these
yeah.
episodes, which should be fun.
We're going to try to get them out weekly, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan. And again, if anybody out there would like to come on the podcast, if you have anything to say, anything interesting, of course, you can email me or Coach Marty. I mean, my email is it's mcertruth25@bishopfeehan.com. And you could also, DM me on the Instagram if you know anybody who'd like to come on, or if you think should come on, or any questions, anything.
You know where to find you.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts from Sean Judge?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
I'm super appreciative you guys had me on this, man. I mean, it was really cool. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I was trying to tell my stories and stuff.
Reoccurring
but-
guest.
Yeah. I mean, if y'all have me on again, I'll be more than happy to. But
That's gonna be
I
awesome.
really appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Yeah, no problem, Judge. Thank you so much for coming on. Coach Marty, you got any closing remarks?
That's it. Just keep a lookout for the Certruth, and that's it. Yeah.
All right. Thank you again for watching. This has been episode 7, or technically episode 1 of season 2 of the Certruth. I'm Max Certruth signing off. Goodbye.